and welcome. My name is
Namaste.
Sharda, your host. Uh, our guest for today is somebody who actually doesn't require any introduction. She is none other than the film superstar, so she's Pranitha Subhash ji. Pranitha ji, namaste and welcome to our show.
Namaste. Nice to be here as well.
We're really honored to have you here with us. So, ma'am, my first question to you is that you often celebrate the majesty of our heritage with clarity and pride. Could you kindly share with our viewers, particularly those abroad, what you find so special about Sanatana Dharma and the Bharatiya ethos?
Sanatana Dharma is one of the oldest religions that are there. And if we have survived years of colonialism and lots of invasions, that itself shows how strong our beliefs are and how amazingly well our country is fighting to protect our Sanatana Dharma. And I think today we're all heading somewhere towards modernization and westernization. And it scares me how the next generation, especially the children, they're not really taught about Sanatana Dharma. And most of them are just sort of, I think there is a sense of forgetfulness about all our rituals, our culture, our customs. And if we don't become the flag bearers of Sanatana Dharma, then who else will? So I think that's primarily the reason why I really like voicing out my thoughts or celebrating, highlighting our culture all the time.
That's beautiful, ma'am, to see that there are so many people from like you from the current generation and even the ones above mine who are working so much to preserve our precious heritage. It's really heartening to witness this. So what would you say to those Indians, to rather Indians generally all across the world, about not only the importance of cultural self-worth, but also about speaking up for Bharat and Dharma in terms of taking on an ambassadorial role, even at, let's say, coffee table conversations or in school or university speeches?
Right. So when I see the plight of Hindus in Pakistan, minorities, minority Hindu communities in Afghanistan, it really pains my heart. And especially because this conversation is, your question was about Indians abroad. I really think that, all of us must unite in this. And the only way we can do it is by taking on an ambassadorial role. And it doesn't have to be just me being an actor voicing out my thoughts. I think each of us should contribute in any way possible to the spread, to spread the knowledge and at least let the next generation know, and sort of everyone to own up and take up their identity of being a Sanatani very proudly. And I really think that me being an actor, I think I have that advantage where I can really either I could tweet about it, talk about it, or like this interview for that matter. And that itself helps in spreading the message of Sanatana Dharma. And I really wanted to appreciate Festival of Bharat because they're doing a great job, a great platform, and spreading these Indic thoughts and really uniting those who believe in Sanatana Dharma.
That's really kind of you, ma'am, especially coming from you, a flag bearer of our traditions. It really means a lot. So, ma'am, my question to you is that how do you think during the pandemic, our Hindu traditions have helped us as a nation collectively?
So Hindu Dharma has rituals and practices that we didn't know why we were practicing them all these years, but I think it required a pandemic to let people know how each of our practices had some meaning in it. Today, when I see a Kamala Harris or an Angela Merkel do a namaste, when they want to greet each other. And this is something we've been doing for centuries now. And I saw another celebrity, I don't remember who, posted about using stainless steel, utensils in there, as an eco-friendly way to prevent use of plastic. And I found it quite strange that we've been doing this for years now. And each of the practices, so Swachha, as we call in Sanskrit, is about being clean. Like there is the Swachh Bharat campaign as well. And the idea is to promote cleanliness. And I think especially Sanatana Dharma, there is a nice demarcation between what is Swachha and what is not. And especially in the pandemic, this has suddenly come into play where everyone wants to make sure everything is clean. So I think in every single way, everything that our Dharma has is of value, especially in the pandemic. You could also think of yoga, like if in this pandemic, everyone's not only about boosting immunity and an overall boost in lifestyle, but I think it also helps in a way that people who are quarantining can maintain a good mental state because of yoga. And that again is attributed to Sanatana Dharma. So plenty of these things, whether it's meditation, whether it's yoga, whether it's something as simple as Sukhasana. So in Sukhasana, that is the, or even half Padmasana, when you sit down and eat, people used to wonder, oh, maybe it was because of poverty in the days of yore that people used to sit down and eat. But that's not the case. It's honestly, when you sit down and in Sukhasana or half Padmasana, and when you have a meal, it really calms you, and that really helps the digestive system. So that we didn't realize, these are the ways that Sanatana Dharma has been very effective in our lives, and how our elders used to tell us, that we need to have sweets only at the end of the meal so that you don't fill your tummy with calories, or say don't drink while you're eating. So these are things that I think, even though they've become rituals now and practices, but each of it has a meaning. So yeah.
Very rightly said. Very rightly said. So moving on to a slightly different topic, you are very vocal about freeing Hindu temples from state control.
Right.
So could you explain why this movement is necessary?
So yeah, like you said, the Free Hindu Temples movement is something that I'm really propagating, and I see that Sadhguruji has also been doing the same, and many others have come and joined this campaign. The thing is that when Britishers had invaded India, they had just come up with some draconian rules and just passed a blanket law which applied to all the other religions, whether it was Muslims, Hindus, or Christians. But the Muslims and Christians fought for their rights, and they got excluded out of that law. But unfortunately, Hindus did not do so. And because of which, there were some of these obnoxious rules that really applied to Hindu temples, where there was a lot of mismanagement of funds, misuse of funds. And to prevent these things, I think it's really important to free Hindu temples. And not that I'm against any of the government laws or rules, because honestly, I'm somebody who really thinks that the constitution or the government has come up with laws that are very relevant. But especially this one, I think that freeing Hindu temples from the clutches of the government will really help in a way that there won't be misuse or mismanagement of funds. So that's primarily the reason.
Very correctly said. And now that every other community has attained that right, it's pertinent that we do fight for
Absolutely.
our representation and ensure that we get the same equal treatment that the others do. So that's a wonderful point you make, ma'am. So you are soon to make your Hindi cinema debut with giant of the cinema screen, Ajay Devgan ji. So could you please tell us a little bit about your film Bhuj, The Pride of India, because it seems a really relevant subject given our current security challenges, as well as the heightened self-respect we have as a nation today.
So Bhuj is a war film. It's about the 1971 India-Pak War, and it's about how runways were built overnight by women of Gujarat, and that's a fantastic story. But when you ask about how films, especially, I think we have really not realized how films are a soft power in this country, whether it is Yuri, it could be Razi, it could be so many films that are really telling you stories about our nation, about Dharma as well. Now you have suddenly scores of films wanting to be made on Hindu mythologies, whether Mahabharata, I heard, is being made, then Adi Purush about Ramayana. So there's suddenly a vast interest in this, and I really must credit the government, because whether it's construction of Ayodhya and publicizing it and making sure the entire nation pitches in and makes it some sort of a festival where we all collaborate together to build a temple. So I think these things have instilled a sort of feeling where we want to celebrate our mythology, our culture, our traditions, and also show the world, or at least our own nation, about various things of national importance. It could be just stories of, I heard Pulwama attack is being made into a film. So I really like how this soft power is being used beautifully, whether it's to promote nationalist interests or to promote our Sanatana Dharma.
That's really beautiful. And I'm so happy that you are a part of these wonderful projects.
Thank you.
So, because that will also ensure that this project for you is something that would be completely genuine to your own interests.
Yes.
So that would be a true reflection of your own Sanatani spirit as well. So, ma'am, you have a thriving career, like you said, in the Kannada, Tamil, and the Telugu film industry. Could
Right.
you tell us how your experience as a film star drew you close to Dharma?
As a film star, I think it has only it's only benefited me, because I think as a person, Sanatana Dharma more than as an actress, because I think acting is just a profession. It doesn't really sort of help you move towards a certain religion. But since as a person, especially my family, my father has been part of the Sanatana RSS, whether it was for blood donation, whether it was for various other causes. So I think from childhood, I've been taught about these things that, where I've only grown up watching them do this, and whether it is seva, social work, all that we do at Pranitha Foundation, and everything that we do is somehow centers around Dharma and its, all that it advocates. And coming to your question, I think like I said, as a person, I'm drawn to Sanatana Dharma, and as an actress, it's only amplifying my interest. It's only helping me promote my dharma in a way that it really reaches the right people. It really sort of makes people take a minute and think about how they could also become vocal about celebrating our dharma.
That's beautiful to hear. And so, ma'am, not to take up much of your time, I would finally like to end by asking you to share whatever message you have for the youth in our country who really look up to you as an idol. And what can we do to serve our nation and revive our civilizational ethos, and with a view to make the world a better place?
Well, since this interview is also mainly about Sanatana Dharma, and it's not just because of that reason, but I would think that there are so many values, so many things that our Dharma advocates that are really relevant today, whether it is fighting the pandemic, whether it is becoming a better person at the end of the day. And I really think that, it's one of the most peaceful religions. It's accommodative. It's not proselytic. So it's like one of the most easy lifestyles anyone can have just by following Sanatana Dharma. So I would just want to tell the next generation and everyone who's watching this that, there's no harm in being vocal about your thoughts, about being a proud Hindu, that like I've always, stood up for that. And I think all of us should become vocal so that it really sort of helps and promotes the cause better.
Very beautifully said. And I would genuinely like to thank you, ma'am, for sharing your beautiful thoughts with us in such an elegant manner. And I'm absolutely sure that our viewers would love to watch this little conversation that we had with such interest and with such enthusiasm. So, dhanyawad, Pranitha ji, for joining us.
Thank you. It was so nice talking to you as well. See you.
Dhanyawad ji. Pranam.
Pranam.
Namaste. We hope you enjoyed this Citti Media content. Please remember to subscribe to us and switch on the notifications for this channel. For our other social media links, more content, and to support our work, please visit citti.net. Dhanyavad. Namaskar.